Welcome to PGSMaths. In this video I'll be looking at an introduction to multiplying terms. Now when you're trying to find the area of a rectangle, we know that you multiply the height by the width. So for my red rectangle up here, I could find the area by doing 2 multiplied by 4, which gives me an area of 8. There are no units, but the number is correct. So in a similar way we can find the area for this orange rectangle, even though we don't know what one of the sides is. It's just represented by this letter A. So our height is A, and we're going to multiply by the width, which is 4. Now we don't know what A is, but what we can do is count how many A's we will have. In this case, 4 lots of them. In English we always say we've got 4 of something, 4 books, 4 cats. We put the number first, and in the same way we do that with algebra. So we've got 4 A's, 4A. There's no multiply needed between them, it just implies that I've got 4 lots of whatever number A is. Can I do the same thing when we don't know both of the sides? Well, of course. Our height was A, and this time the width is B. So we've got A times B. Now this can be simplified by simply removing the multiply symbol. We know we've got A lots of B. So in this case, A, B. Notice I didn't change the order this time because there's no number. Letters can go either way round. There's no priority. But does it make a difference if the letters are the other way around? So if I chose to do B multiplied by A, I'd have a rectangle with area B, A. But if we multiply two numbers, we will always get the same product. It doesn't matter which order we do them, so therefore AB is the same as saying BA. And you should also realise then is that the yellow and the green rectangles have the same area. They look the same, the diagrams are the same, but the labelling is a different way round. Now logically we would have expected the green rectangle to have been rotated by 90 degrees. Pay attention to what the letters say, the diagrams may not always be accurate. So what happens when we multiply something by itself? Well, in this quadrilateral it looks like a square, but how do we know it's a square? Well, it's got the same letter at the bottom as it does at the top. Our height is A, our width is A. So to find the area of that shape, we would have A multiplied by A, which is proof that it's A square, and that's our answer, A squared, because the little 2 means that we have A multiplied by itself. So if we now know that each of these shapes has an area of A squared, what's the area of all 3 of them? Well, I've got 3 lots of A squared, and just the same as we did with a single letter, we can do it with square values. 3 lots of A squared, we don't need the multiply, so that can just be written as 3A squareds, or 3A squared. We can also multiply letters by different letters, even if other letters already exist. Now it sounds quite complicated, but let's have a look at this pattern. I've got a rectangle, AB, and if I've only got one of them, the area of that would be 1 lot of AB. This would be written just as AB. We don't need to write the number 1. If I have 2 of these rectangles, I would have 2 times AB. And that can be written simply as 2AB. If there was 3 rectangles, it would be 3AB. If there was 4 rectangles, 4AB, etc. So what happens if I've got X a number that I don't know. I don't know how many of these rectangles I have. Well, we know we've got x, this number that we don't know. So I'm going to take x, whatever value that is, and multiply it by AB. That's what we did before, right? We took the number of rectangles and times it by AB. When multiplying with letters, we don't need a multiply symbol, so the answer would become x, A, B. It doesn't matter the order. We could have said ABX, AXB, BAX. It means the same thing. It's the same three letters multiplied together. So what happens when we use one of the letters twice? Well, it's just as simple. If I've got this shape, which has got an area of xy, if I've got one of them, that's xy. If there's two of them, that's 2xy. There's three of them, that's 3xy. But if I've got x of them, I've got xy. Now that's really bad algebra. We've already seen what happens when you multiply something by itself. X times x becomes x squared. So it becomes x squared y. It doesn't matter if you've got letters in a specific order. If one of those letters has been multiplied by itself, remember that now gains a power. It's a chance for you to have a go yourself. Pause the video, see if you can work out what the area of these two shapes would be. Remember to multiply everything by everything. Did you get it? Let's have a look. I've got a height of 2a. I'm going to multiply by 3a. Now we know if we have a times a, that's going to be a squared. But what about these numbers? Well, another way of saying 2a is 2 times a. Instead of 3a, we know this means 3 times a. And if I multiply those all together, I end up with this stream of numbers and letters, which can be written in any order. So if I rearrange these, change it around so all my numbers are together, I have 2 times 3 times a times a. Do everything together that's the same. I haven't lost anything, we've just changed the order. So 2 times 3 is 6. A times a is a squared. So my answer becomes 6a squared. In the same way, we can rearrange or group together the multiplications for this second shape. I have 3r multiplied by rt. Multiply everything that's the same family together. There's no number, so it's just 3. We've got r times r, so that becomes r squared. And there's only a t to be multiplied by now. So the final answer is 3r squared t. Now for our challenge of the day. Can you write an expression to represent the number of kittens there are in total? 7 W wives had 7 S sacks. 7 S sacks had 7 C cats. 7 C cats had 7 K kittens. So how many kittens are there? Can you put your answers in the comment section below? Subscribe for future videos. Or send us any messages, questions or problems you might be having to Twitter at PGSMaths or on Facebook /PGSMaths.